Hey guys, this is Andre from Market Scripters. Today we're going over the geometrics scanner indicator. You may have heard of harmonics, originally patterns like the butterfly, the cipher, the Gartley, discovered by H.M. Gartley. Scott Carney came in and added a whole bunch of new patterns. They're very cool and very fun to program, very fun to code. This was fun to build this indicator. The names I'm giving them, the P8, it's P for pattern, and then 8 is the first number in the retracement. So the X to A to D, this one is an 886 retracement, a 0.886. So the P8. And we have target 1, target 2. As you can see in this case, both of them were hit, even though the pattern actually didn't complete. And you'll see the way I've coded this. So the pattern ends, the lines end at the beginning of the potential reversal zone, the PRZ. The label with the name is at the end of the PRZ. So you can see the PRZ is that kind of area for this P8. For the P4 down here, we're looking at something like this. Patterns, when they complete, will turn solid. So I don't know if there's one on this chart right now. Let's try the 4-hour. There we go. Here's a P2 that completed and a P5 that just completed recently. And the targets will only display on an in progress pattern. Where were we? 15-minute, 30-minute, there we go. So targets will only display on the currently printing pattern on the current bar. So sometimes patterns will not complete. They won't complete exactly, and here's why. An indicator is just a bunch of computer code, and computer code has to be it's written very explicitly. You have to draw the line somewhere, and sometimes a pattern can be just on the other side of the range, right? The pattern falls into this range, we call it completed. If it falls just on the other side of that, it's not going to fill, it's not going to be considered complete. So keep that in mind. These patterns are very explicitly measured, and for good reason. But you'll also see, times like this where, this P5, you could have traded it and it would have been a nice trade. Even both of these patterns right here, this P2 and this P8, if you traded it, you would have knocked out targets 1 and 2. But, you got to draw the line somewhere. So keep that in mind as we go through this. Real quick on settings. So I like making settings very simple. Just a couple of things. The first thing is size. We're looking for size 11. All it says is the size of the pattern that you want to be looking for. So I could make this 2, not 112. Well, there you go. There's an example of 112. Right, much bigger patterns, and you can see this one actually is playing out, which is kind of cool. If I make this 2, we're going to get much smaller patterns and obviously a lot more patterns. You can see some of these labels are colored and some are just black. The ones that are solid color, these ones completed, right? So this P5, look, okay, so this P3 over here, that's a nice one. This P5, it might have hit the targets. P4 was nice. P3, P8, and all of these other ones, these black ones, these were all the pending ones, all the pending patterns that didn't technically complete. But you can see that sometimes often price goes in that direction. Well, this one probably should have completed. There's a certain point where the program will stop looking for a pattern and will start considering the next one. This is probably one of those cases, right? Where if we were still looking for this pattern while we were on these bars, it would have completed. You can see that, right? This is in between that range. Again, unfortunately, you got to draw the line somewhere and start looking for the next pattern. But this will have been displayed, and you would have seen tweezer tops in the range, right? Still like a valid P8 pattern, and so you can follow that down. Okay, back to the settings. Size shows you the size. You tell the size you want. If you want, one thing you can do is run the indicator twice. So we can have one running at 2, one running at 47, and one will be looking for much bigger patterns, and one will be looking for smaller patterns. Depends on your trading style. What size moves do you want to go for? The other setting, show P4. There's a lot of P4s, and I've eliminated a lot of the ones that are not going to complete. That price just is not heading in that direction, so I don't show them on the chart. Even so, if you want, you can remove a lot of the labels, a lot of the drawings, because there are a lot of P4s. Why are these colored and the lines aren't there? So in TradingView, there's a limitation that you can only display 50 lines for any given indicator. And each of our patterns takes 6 lines, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can only display 10 patterns at a time. And as you display more and more, TradingView will start to delete lines. You can see here this P0, only 2 of the lines are left because TradingView automatically deleted the 4 other ones. So that's why that happens. The labels stay though. For a lot farther back anyway, you can see here is where they cut off. So you can go back and see labels, see where they would have completed based on the labels. And if you really want to, you can do a replay and see what happened back then. So I'll show you that now. We can do the P5 that just happened. So replay, and let's just walk through it, candle by candle. And here we are, here's our P5. So in this case, this was found on the same bar that it completed. And that happens sometimes, not all the time. And then our T1 was hit, and that's where we are right now. Let's find another one that can print in real time. You know what, the euro dollar had a good one. Here we go. Let's do this P5. I'm just going to hit play here. Okay, here's our P5. So we've recognized it, right around here. We already draw our target 1, target 2. The pattern is red, so we know it's a bearish pattern. So we're expecting price to hit this range and then drop. Wait until it hits that range. Let's keep going. Don't worry so much about the target lines getting wider and thinner. Doesn't really mean anything. But this is what it looks like in real time. This is what you're going to see with this indicator. It draws it out for you so seamlessly. And there we go. We hit. And we come down. There's T1. This was a beautiful play out. And we hit T2. So that's basically it, guys. This is the Geometrics Scanner indicator by Market Scripters. Again, my name's Andre. Reach out anytime with any questions. Hit me up on TradingView at Market Scripters. You can also find me on my website and join our Discord. Shoot me a message. Comments, just post them in the any questions or comments, post them in the comment section below. And if you want access, reach out, please do. All right, take care, guys. All right, guys, one thing I wanted to show you, and I forgot to throw in the video, is a smaller number on a bigger time frame can mean the same patterns size as a bigger number on a smaller time frame. If you remember at the beginning of this, I accidentally typed in 112 as the size. I think we were on the 15-minute chart. And you'll notice that was the same as this P5. That's the one that showed up. So I'm going to throw up a vertical line just on this pivot. Right, and so that is the bottom of this pivot of that P5 on size 2 on the daily chart. If we go to the 15, let's just zoom out until we see that vertical line. There it is. Right, and then I'm going to throw this guy on for 112. Maybe it was the 30-minute. There we go. It was the 30-minute. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the size 2 because it's just too much. Right, but the daily chart on a size 2 is showing us the same patterns. You know, they won't all be exactly the same, but because we're looking for bigger patterns on a much smaller time frame, right, it's going to find most likely very similar, if not the same patterns. In this case, it does. Again, this will work on any time frame, and just choose the size patterns that you want to find. So cool. That's it. Thanks.